I especially appreciated that last song, Running, because as we've been talking about chasing and running, and I just thought as we were singing, look, if you're going to run back to God, right? If you're going to chase something, chase God. So, can I just be honest with you guys tonight? Just like kind of take off the pastor mask and just confess some stuff tonight. Okay, no, I can't. Put the mask back on then. Evidently, I can't. Man, I was ready to come down to San Diego and tell you guys how to stop chasing things, how to stop striving, how to stop pursuing whatever you think you need to pursue so that you feel significant and that you matter. And so we got here and I was even, that's my bad, but I was even telling the leadership and the staff that was helping to put this retreat on. It's like, this is going to be a good week and I can tell this is going to go great. I love it. And a lot of good things were happening yesterday. And then I taught session one. I was like, oh, not bad. He did all right. And then the next morning, I don't know if it was God or the enemy, but someone decided to break the AC. And that triggered me. Not only in here, but in Promised Land. Right now, they're fixing it. I think it's fixed now. But there's suddenly something triggered in me. It's like, oh no, we spent half a year planning this weekend. We wanted an experience. Clearly, I wanted the experience. That's what I was chasing. I wanted an experience for you. And that experience was slipping out of my hands. And I was getting really frustrated. So I was on the phone with conference center and saying, do you know who I am? I'm your alumni, Kevin McGill. I don't know who you are. I'm like, well, we need our AC on. We can't stay in here. It's an oven. And just, Jenny's good. She knows me well enough that she doesn't have to preach a sermon at me. She just has to give me a look. And the look is like, hey, you've been talking about chasing sunsets all weekend, but what are you doing right now? And I guess I'm chasing sunsets. And so I just want to tell you that it is so easy to get triggered. It is so easy in these moments, even when we're talking about God and what He does and what He has for us, to get triggered. And when we think that something that really defines us and that makes us matter slips out of our grasps. Well, I think it's working. Is that working? Oh, that's fine. No, well, that's fine. No, see, I ain't gonna chase that. I'm gonna let that happen. I'm gonna let that go. Anyway, when you think you are chasing something that's out of your grasp and you feel like you don't matter, I think the words that Amanda and company saying is perfect. Instead of running, instead of chasing, if you're going to run, at least run back to God. If you're going to put that much energy and effort into something, stop, pivot, and go back to God. And then trust that He has for you whatever He has for you this weekend, which I am telling myself I need to trust. So we're gonna just let God do what He does. We're gonna enjoy this weekend. And so now we are focusing on a different topic. I think earlier, was it a little warm for you guys out there on your excursions? A little toasty, little heat stroke. And then y'all were talking about a food coma, so I thought appropriately tonight we'll talk about death. And so that's what we're going to explore. But before we get to death, I want to talk about this problem that we have, that we think we know the future. And we're wired to think we know the future. It's literally part of our biology. We are future predicting animals because we are always trying to assess the problems and challenges that are in front of us so we know how to respond to what's going to happen. But unfortunately, especially in our flesh, especially in our brokenness, it gets in the way. And let me quickly pause because I can tell the chairs are a little angled back this way and I don't want a crickety necks. So if you want to take a moment before I run the slides, if you want to shift the chairs a little more toward the slides. Often we confidently predict the future, like I did yesterday. I just said to my team, oh, it's going to be good. I can tell it's going to be a good week, and we're going to nail this. There's not going to be a problem. People are going to talk about this for generations. And they might, but not for the right reasons. And so, many times, a number of folks in history have tried to predict the future. For example, this gentleman said, there is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, CEO, Digital Equipment Corporation, 1977. This guy, Horace Rackham, said, the horse is here to stay, but the automobile is only a novelty when asked about investing into Ford Motor Company in 1903. And the internet will collapse in 1996. Robert Metcalfe, American engineer and entrepreneur. Instead, the internet experienced explosive growth. Metcalfe later publicly acknowledged his mistake by blending and drinking a printed copy of his prediction, which is not necessary. You could just say, I was wrong. And I mean, let's just take a quick moment to pause and remember COVID-19. You guys remember January, was it 2020? When was the dark times? January 2020. March. No. I know the month. I was trying to remember the year. So January 2020, when you guys had your daily planners open and you were planning for the year, you were so sure you knew what was going to happen. You did not have COVID-19 on your bingo cards. And now we have AI. Now, all of the predictions out there right now of AI, Ryan, he votes no. That AI is going to steal our jobs. It's going to take our babies away, like it's the end of human civilization. Or AI is the beginning of this utopian future that we will live on a universal basic income and we will never have to work a day of our lives. We have all of these predictions of what AI will do, and we will probably be wrong more than we're right. We'll probably be wrong more than we're right. You guys know, a lot of you were very kind to me and my family over the last month when Jenny had a unexpected appendectomy when her appendix burst. And we were just, it was a conversation. We were very thankful for all the kindness and generosity and all the good food you guys sent our ways. But we were also reflecting on just why was this so hard? Why was this so hard that Jenny suddenly is in the ER room and then suddenly is on the operating table and then now spending the next couple of weeks at home trying to recover? And I said to her, you know what I think it is? I mean, yes, surgery is never fun, but we didn't know it was going to happen. Yes, it was hard, but it was especially difficult because we couldn't plan on it. We didn't know that this was going to be a part of our future reality. And that's where we often find ourselves, though. We often think that we know what's going to happen until life surprises us. And so how we live, and this is what Ecclesiastes is going to argue today in chapter 11 to chapter 12, verse 8. How we live. Life, what you do know. Death, what you don't know. This is how we tend to navigate through reality. We think life, I know life. That's what I do know. Death, I don't know anything about death. It's what I don't know. But Ecclesiastes is going to wisely make the argument that that's wrong. Because the truth is life is what you don't know. Meaning the series of events between now and when you pass away, you don't know what's going to happen A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. But we do know that there is death. That is the thing that we can count on. That is actually the thing that we can all affirm. That the death rate is 100%. But when it comes to life, we don't know what's going to happen. But the problem is we often have it flipped. We are often too confident in the life that we have here and knowing what's going to happen, but we are not confident, and we often don't sort out our lives according to death. And so now we're going to switch gears as we jump into Ecclesiastes. This is where I'm going to encourage you to get out your Bibles, because we're going to walk through this section of Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I invite you to get out your phones or your print books. And we're going to work our way through this first part. Now, this first part is going to feel a little unrelated. And actually, when Nick and I were talking our way through this, as you read chapter 11, it starts off kind of weird, meaning he's really talking about investments, like how to make money. And it doesn't feel very spiritual, and it doesn't feel very applicable. This doesn't feel like a biblical subject. And I'm going to argue that, well, first, how we manage our money is important, but in this case, Solomon is using this illustratively. He wants to point to something else. So we are going to look at it in its obvious. We're going to look at it as it's obviously written, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper. Now, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Now, I know that pastors, preachers, maybe myself, we refer to this verse when we talk about tithing. And you can get there, but the original reader would not have read that. The original reader would have seen that word bread and knew exactly what that meant. It's your goods. It's what you own. It's what's yours. Upon the waters, that's ocean, trade by ships. They did a lot of their trading, maritime trading. They would trade on ships. And so what Solomon is saying is, he is saying, hey, don't hoard all you got. Go put it in a boat. Whatever you've produced, whatever you've grown, whatever you've collected and gathered up, put it on the boat and go sell it overseas. Now, for us, this is just like, this sounds so painfully obvious. It's one of the reasons we're surprised it's in the Bible. But let's remember the ancient Near Eastern person. The average person, the average peasant that would have been reading this, their entire reality was this: I have very little. I got a bag of seeds, I got a mule, I got 2 acres to my name. So you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to hold on. And what Solomon is basically doing is he's walking through these villages, and he's talking to these peasants, and he's saying, hey, I'm good with money. Let me help you put that money to use. Don't hoard it. Don't sit on it. So this is good life advice. He's saying, look, plant some seeds, and then, grow your crop, but don't eat all your crop. Put some aside. Go sell it in the marketplace. And then multiply your investments. So it's just good advice. But here is where we need to now turn this back to our own beyond financial investments. Because I would say that what the Bible really wants us to do here is to say, you and I, beyond our money, I actually think we are really good in Orange County. We like to make our money grow. That's not an argument that needs to be made. But my personal life, my time, my network, my whatever, what do I tend to do with me and all of my personal effects? I hold on to it. And what he is saying, I would argue, is he's saying beyond money, you need to take yourself and begin to invest your time, begin to invest your influence, begin to invest into relationships beyond the safe spaces that you've created. That you may need to risk your time, right? We don't like to risk our time. We guard our time. If I'm going to spend anything on anyone, it's either to get good grades, to get a relationship, or to grow my business. That's where I'm going to invest my time. I'm not going to invest my time in someone who doesn't give something back. And so we tend to guard our time. And so his invitation to us is shut down your computer and spend that extra 20 minutes with your child. Don't end your conversation with your neighbor at 2 minutes because you know his wife just left him after 26 years of marriage. Walk across the street, be present and intentional. And this is actually a personal experience for me and Jenny right now. We have a friend who just lost whose wife walked out after 26 years of marriage. It's easy to have the 2-minute conversation, but I've got a load of laundry to do, and I've got a meeting that needs to be had on Zoom, so smile and nod. And I don't want to get into it because this is not where I can and want to invest my time. And he's saying, no, you need to put your bread out there, put your time. Take your direct report out to lunch and truly listen to what he's going through. His poor work performance may be more than just poor work performance. Right? It's easy to write someone up. It's easy to send a snappy text. But it's hard. Say, hey, let's grab lunch. I just want to see what's going on in your life. Like, oh, that's not a good use of my time. How many times have we said that? That is not a good use of my time. So he's basically saying, I want you to take all what is yours and to give it away, for you will find it after many days. So we have our first discussion question. Where in your life have you been holding back money, time, attention because part of you isn't sure you'll get anything back for it? Who is someone right now, a neighbor, a direct report, your own child, who needs more from you than you've been giving? What's one concrete way to cast your bread toward them before the week is out? What's going on? What happened?
Are those the same questions?
Yeah, I'm just being nice. I'm just reading them for you. So those...
Are you sure? Are you sure?
We're reading between the lines.
Was it through myself? Oh, man. See, now I really feel like I don't matter. Okay.
Just can you read them again and then...
Give me a sec. Oh, this is conference services' fault. Someone got into my computer. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, you see how the magic's done. Here we go. Paste image 4. See, that just made it worse. Give me a sec. I really do not like. It's okay. Okay. Ding. Thank you. Thank you. That was the same energy as like Andy when he came up and did that like on the mic. Okay, is that better, babe?
That's excellent.
Okay, good. All right. There you go. Where in your life have you been holding back? On and on and on. All right, take about 10 minutes to answer those questions.
Well, I want to keep them at arm's length because I'm fine where I am, which can be a little, not really building relationships with people you need to.
Yeah, exactly. That funnel gets smaller and smaller. Yeah, absolutely. Where in your life have you been holding back, clinging to? There's that food coma. So one more person. Yeah.
So we met a couple weeks ago, and I already talked about it with you, but I shared with my group that like I want to cultivate this part of me that's like this like rich inner world, this prayer, this relationship with God, and at the same time I'm pulled the other way by this, I say capitalist, but like intellectual, professional, like this isn't furthering my career, this isn't making me smarter, this isn't making me like anything like that I can spend more whole. And so that's where the time and attention is like in conflict.
Yeah. When you say this, are you talking about just your relationship with God?
That and like my own inner work. On
Yeah.
my like, character development.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is at some level, especially you in therapy, me as a pastor, it's easy to work on other people's inner work.
Yeah.
But mine, I'm good. I got the degree, I'm good, right? But that's not true. It has to start with the self. Okay, so let's continue. And so he goes on to say, in verse 2, give a portion to 7 or even to 8. Again, this is biblical language that's a little obtuse and a little hard to unpack. But basically, he is saying, diversify your investments. Like take whatever you're going to invest and give it to 7 or to 8. Don't give it to 1. For you know not what disaster may happen on earth. What is he trying to say? What picture is he trying to paint? He's saying, look, you might give a little money over to this new merchant shop. And you might give a little money over to this, camel business. And you might give a little money over the next country, over to a vineyard. And he's saying the reason you want to diversify your investments is because if you only give money to, let's say the merchant shop, and then there's a massive war, and it's razed to the ground, that means you lost all your money. But if you've spread your wealth, if you've spread what you have across many different regions, many different places, there's a good chance that you will not lose your wealth. Again, a lot of us, we get this. Even if you invest in a mutual fund, you get that idea. You can study a company's portfolio, a CEO, their sales strategy, but you can't predict the Strait of Hormuz closing, right? And if that company relies on the Strait of Hormuz and all the money is there, then you're in trouble. But what he is also recognizing in our nature, it is our nature to consolidate, right? And you were talking about that a little bit before, Andy, when you were saying, we want to kind of just gather our energies and resources and efforts into a smaller and smaller band. So you consolidate your time, you consolidate your friend group, you consolidate your beliefs. And either an overinflated sense of security in a person or organization, you put everything you have. But it's not faith, it's fear. It's not faith, it's fear. So let me go back to 17 years old, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to go to college. And so there I am in Merced. And I had a couple of options. I could, Jillian Merced, she wrote that down. Okay, next time I got this one. I could either go to Merced College on the left, or Point Loma on the right.
Take a picture of that.
So for you guys, what's the obvious choice here? What would you choose?
Point Loma.
Point Loma. Maybe not after this weekend though. I don't know how I'm feeling about Point Loma, but you would choose Point Loma.
Yeah.
You would choose. So Merced, the main industry was cow. Population size, cow. That was all that we had in Merced. Manure. And cow products. But guess where I wanted to go? Merced College.
What?
Because it was safe, it was secure, it was all I knew. And I thought about this later, because you're right. It's why? Why? When you could have beautiful Point Loma. But see, I knew Merced. I was comfortable. And it's funny, when you know me, you know that I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a risk taker and all that. But there are some parts of my life, or some parts of me, and it's no, I'm okay. I don't need Point Loma. I'm happy with Merced, the city no one has ever heard of. Let me explain it this way, because I think some of us understand this. Earlier, I was actually talking to Michelle, and you guys have heard extrovert, introvert, and you've heard ambivert. Have you heard of otrovert? Do you know what that is? Ryan? I saw Ryan nodding his head. This is an introvert. An introvert is a term coined by New York City psychiatrist Dr. Rami Kaminsky to describe a friendly, socially capable person who functions as an eternal outsider. Unlike introverts who retreat for quiet or extroverts who seek energy from crowds, introverts feel no desire to tie their identity to groups or hive minds. Social but non-committal, values deep connection, loves a one-on-one, independent thinker. You value autonomy, think outside the box, have little concern for peer validation or the latest trends, prefers solo work. You're generally drawn to working independently or being self-employed rather than working in group settings or strict teams. So why that can be a good thing is that you don't give into groupthink. I'm not a person that, if someone comes up to me and says, well, you know what everyone else thinks? I don't care. Like, you know, who are you rooting for? I don't know. Just ball, someone kicks the ball, I root for whoever wins. If they win, then that's who I'm cheering for, right? So I have no loyalty. I am truly an independent thinker. But here's the other problem, is that I have a very small experience base that I rely on. That I tend to consolidate my viewpoint and my worldview, and I don't look, on one end it's good that I don't look to the group and to the crowd to tell me who I am and how to define myself, but it also means that I stick to a very small circle of experiences and thoughts and ideas, and that I think I know everything, but I clearly didn't know. I read a pamphlet, I talked to a couple of people, I was like, Merced seems fine to me, and I was not willing to move outside of my personal experience and to say that there are certain things that I do not know. And that actually takes us to the next portion of Scripture here. And this next portion really is just saying, you do not know creation or creator. And basically, Solomon's argument is this, is that you think you know how the world works, and the way that we think when the filter that we have for the world is, I think I know how the world works. The world is a very bad place. It's come to take away all of my life, and so I'm going to consolidate all of my resources and keep everything close to me, and I'm going to live closed fist, and I'm going to hoard all I have, all my time, all my effort, all my work, and keep it close to me. But what Solomon is saying, and by the way, Solomon, God, he's saying is, you actually don't know. And so that's why it says here in verse 3, if the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, and the place where the tree falls, there it will lie. He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap. Which is to say that creation is going about doing its business on one side of the earth, and on the other, and you have no idea. You have no idea. Of course, we have satellites today. We can kind of observe what's going on. But at the end of the day, you actually don't know what's going on in creation. But the problem is you're holding on tight fist to life because you think you know, and you think that all of creation is against you. But what he's saying is actually all of creation is busy being creative. It is not against you. There's so much going on, and there are so many opportunities and possibilities, and so you should live a full life. And we continue here, verse 5. As you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child, so you do not know. And he uses this phrase, do not know, 6 times actually in chapter 11. You do not know the work of God who makes everything. Well, I'm going to put all my money in this company. I'm only going to hang out with those kinds of people. I'm only going to think this particular way because I know how the world works and I know how God works. But you don't know. You don't know. And to illustrate this, I think we're going to illustrate this You guys have heard of the Newlywed Game, right? Have you guys seen the Newlywed Game played? We're going to play the Oldywed Game, which is to say, if you've been married for a while, you should know one another. And so I'm going to invite Michelle and Louis to come up. I told her. She didn't tell you? No. You guys said no. I know where this is going.
I'm scared.
You matter.
He was on the text thread.
All right. I think we'll just stick to 5. So this is how this works. Louis?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to ask a question. You're supposed to think of it in terms of Michelle.
Okay.
So that's empathy for the one you love.
Got it.
Okay? And the question will be asked. You will answer what you think she's going to answer.
Okay.
Get it? And don't you? And I'll have to explain that to you.
Got it.
Because you know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's going to be good. All right. What's my biggest pet peeve? Actually, pause. How many years have you guys been married, by the way?
9.5.
9.5. All right. So.
So many. It's a trick.
There are a lot. You're just doing one, you're not creating a list, are you?
No.
What's the biggest pet peeve?
She's still writing.
She might have added me to her list.
I don't know how to spell a word. That's embarrassing.
It's okay.
That's wrong.
Sure.
Okay. Right?
Hold on. No.
Oh,
There's a few.
there are a few.
I've been working on it. There are a few, I will admit that. Okay, I got
Wait,
it.
I'm changing mine.
It is, I should say.
All right, we're good.
Okay, so the way that this works before you flip, you go first.
Okay. This is because sometimes when we're laying in bed, and if we're
Where's this going?
when we're scrolling,
We are streaming this, just to let you know.
Okay.
but when we're scrolling through our phones in the evening, I won't put my AirPod in, and I'll listen
That is a good one.
to whatever without considering Michelle.
Okay. Okay. What's
That's
yours,
from my
Michelle?
mind.
When I solve when he comes to me to tell me something and I try to solve the problem instead of just listening.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's a big one actually.
Learning.
Okay. This is great. This one's sweet. You'll like this one.
Okay.
What song instantly makes me think of you?
Oh, this is bad.
I don't know if you want to ask us that question.
We can pause the camera. We don't want it recorded.
The audience wants to know.
I don't know the names of songs. That's the hard part.
See, I'm ashamed.
Why don't you write some lyrics? Why don't you write some lyrics and see if you can.
Now I'm more ashamed. Man, plan B here. What's the other one? See, this is bad. The stuff that I used to listen to still like plays in my head.
The wind beneath my wing.
Oh, that's nice. It's not that.
It's not.
Come on.
I'm so scared right now.
You want to just let you off the hook, let Michelle.
It's a safe space. Ish.
This is so bad. I'm just gonna be honest.
Be honest. What more can you do?
You're married.
This is stuff I used to listen to back in the day.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I like big butts. You want me to be honest about I listen to Christian music a lot.
Mine was anything 90s rock.
Okay. Rap. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do one more. I'll give you five, but we're gonna call it a first. Okay, I think this one's like this is a positive.
Go until they match.
We will be here all night. If I won $10,000 with no strings attached, what's the first thing I'd buy? Ooh, I got it.
Am I supposed to guess what he's heard? I should.
No.
Well, you're just answer what's true to you.
What's
Right,
true to
for
you?
him.
No, for
For
me.
you.
Oh, for me.
What do you want?
I think, okay, yes.
And he's busy.
No.
It's all about Michelle. It's all about.
I know.
You thought I wasn't gonna understand the game.
Okay.
We're a mess.
So,
Okay.
like a vacation
Yeah.
would be.
This is why we're married.
What you want a gift of immeasurable value?
Thank you.
Okay. It's
Love.
It's love. That's love.
What about my second answer? I was just being honest.
All right. Now I'm nervous that I don't have the right questions up here. I am sure I do. So, all right. So go ahead and break up into your groups. And what gaps of knowledge about myself, my friend's spouse, or the future has surprised me? How did I handle that? And in what ways can I stop consolidating my life and opening myself up to different possibilities God might have for me? So let's take about 10 minutes to answer that. Opening myself up. What gaps of knowledge about myself, my friend's spouse, or in what ways can I stop consolidating my life and opening myself up? Michelle.
I think retreats like this are nice because we're able to like spend time with people that maybe we don't typically talk to on a Sunday. I know I've been able to be a bit more like slower paced and not have something to do. So like I want to do more of that, like opening myself up to those connections more.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else feel the same way or have want to answer one of these questions? Anyone else want to open up? No? Okay. Going once. Going. Me?
The answers were set.
All right, so our next slide. What gaps of knowledge about myself? Oh, so much.
Well, I'll take you off the hook. I have an example.
Thank you, sir.
I work for a company that they had a Help my brother.
So much marriage counseling opportunities. All right, go ahead, Dwayne.
You can go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I insist.
So anyway, I work for a company that had all the managers do what's called a 360 review. And what that entailed is that the people that reported to you did a review on you. And it was very eye-opening. Because what I felt myself as a manager did not completely mesh with what people that reported to me saw me. And that was very eye-opening. You know, and it was very humbling. Very humbling. So if you guys are managers or you know you have people that report to you,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to do that type of exercise because it'll make you a better manager and it'll also improve your relationship with your employees.
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
So I took you off the hook.
I think most recently, so I play a lot of pickleball. I don't know why I'm telling you that. You know that. I play a lot of pickleball. But I found that I cut short at the post-lunch opportunity. So our pickleball group at Heritage Park, they almost always go out for lunch afterwards. And like, hey, do you want to go out to lunch with us? And I think some of it is, oh no, I got to get to work. I got a job. I got to go to work. But I think what, honestly, the other part is like, when you lose so much, like you don't want to be around them. Because they start asking you questions like, why do you lose so much? so there's a little bit of that. Like, I don't have to explain myself. But I think I realized that this is going to sound weird, but on the pickleball courts, I'm Kevin, right? Like, I'm Kevin Pickleball. That's how I show up on the phone. I'm Kevin Pickleball. And I've liked that. And I realized, like, if I go to lunch, now we're social. Now we're talking. Now we're relational. Now I'm probably going to be pastor. And that's what usually happens, is you kind of get into these kind of counseling sessions and all that. And it didn't happen. I mean, so I did end up going out to lunch for the first time in 3 years with the group last week. That didn't happen at all. I was just still, Kevin, that's not very good at pickleball, going out to lunch. And so it was kind of freeing. I realized that I had assumed a lot. Kind of like between Merced and Point Loma, I had assumed a lot about an experience I'd never had. Why don't I first go have that experience before I decide what it is? And so that was a good moment for me.
I can attest to that. He gave me an angry look when I called him Pastor Kevin in the corner. Pastor Kevin.
At least I looked at you. Otherwise, I don't know that person. Yeah. Pastor Jerry does it too, though. He does it too.
Can I say something in your defense?
Next slide. All right, go ahead. Yes. Yes. Good things. Let's go.
So he plays a lot with Harvest, which is, he's known as pastor, so this other opportunity is truly evangelistic, where they don't have, like, they're from all different backgrounds, all different faiths, and then he doesn't want to create a barrier because once, like even our neighbors, they find that as a pastor, they change, it's different, and they change the way they talk, and so it's not that we hide the fact that we're in ministry, but it's not the first thing we offer.
Yeah.
Because then they don't feel free to be, like, just be who they are.
Yeah, they start apologizing
This is what I say in your defense.
for the bad words they said, the music they listen to.
Unreal. Totally real.
Yeah. You had your hand up? Oh, that's all.
No, that was what I was going to say.
Okay.
See? I said it.
You said the thing.
I know you're a pastor.
Okay.
I said it for the whole church.
Okay. All right. All good. Let's continue. So now, death, what you do know. And this is such an interesting way of understanding reality, because if you talk to someone about death, they would actually say, well, that's the mystery of life. At some level, though, it isn't the mystery of life. It's the fixed thing. What happens throughout life, that's the stuff that surprises us along the way that we can't plan on, but we can plan on death. And so what he's going to actually do in these next couple of verses, is turn with me to verse 8, is he's going to juxtapose youth with death. And some of it is because he wants to give good advice to our students, to our young adults, to our next gen. But I think it also is just a great way to remind us of what we actually do know. So when you put youth and the zeal of youth and you don't think about death, and you ought not to really think about death, that's not what youth is for. But you do put it up next to death, and he says, but you should every once in a while reflect on your actions, because though you don't feel it, though you've never had that existential crisis about what happens after my time on this earth, you still have a relationship to death. So we come to verse 8, and it says, so if a person lives many years, let him rejoice in them all. This is why I love Ecclesiastes. He does not apologize for using the words joy, rejoice, have a good time. All right, so he's saying, look, this is good. Yeah, we got that contrastive word there. But, let him remember that the days of darkness will be many. All that comes is vanity. So have your joy with the fixed perspective of death, the thing you know. Whatever you're doing here, however you're living your life, do it with the reality in mind that death is coming. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer. You in the days of your youth walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. But, know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. What he's saying is, have a good time. Just be thinking about the choices you're making now, because you will have to have a conversation with God in judgments later. So a couple of things that's to be said is, you can have joy without breaking laws, and that's the hard thing about being young, is you kind of want to, push some boundaries. You want to step outside of your parent's shadow or maybe your faith system, and you think that that's the only way to have a good time. And what he's saying is, have a good time, but you don't have to break the rules, the laws, the principles, the faith that you were raised under. And then I love this verse, verse 10. Remove vexation, which is another word for anger, from your heart. Still talking to the youth. And put away pain. And let me just say a parenthetical statement here. Self-harm. Treating yourself roughly. Treating yourself terribly. From your body. For youth and the dawn of life are vanity. It's a little bit of a confusing landing, but let me say it this way. He's basically saying, look, youth is fleeting. You're not going to have a lot of time to be young. It goes a lot faster than you think. So don't waste it being angry and hurting yourself. Don't waste it being angry and feeling a lot of pain, because basically in your elder years, you will have plenty of opportunities for that. To be angry, to be bitter, to be frustrated, to your body to be racked in pain. He said, hey, that's coming. Why would you spend your youth? Your youth should be an experience of joy. And don't waste it being angry and mad and bitter at the world. Because I'm telling you, when you get into your 70s and 80s, that's fleeting, that's in the past, you're going to have a lot of opportunities for that. And he says, and so basically what he is saying is, youth, experience the fullness of life with the fixed perspective of death. With the fixed perspective of death. Before Adoniram Judson became the pioneer of American foreign missions, he was a rebel. He finished at the top of his college class and headed to New York City to seek fame and fortune as an actor and writer. He had renounced his father's belief in a personal God. His education had taken him beyond such primitive notions. Prayer, of course, was meaningless to him. But by the age of 20, Adoniram didn't feel right about his life. Disillusioned, he headed back to his home in Plymouth, Massachusetts. stopping for a night at a wayside inn. Adoniram had trouble sleeping that night because a man in the next room was critically ill and moaning and groaning in pain. Obviously, his neighbor in the next room was dying. In the darkness of his room, Adoniram thought about the possibility of his own death and whether he was prepared for it. And if you've ever been in the hospital room, if you've ever had to spend the night, or you're just visiting someone, and you understand, especially when we went to the ER, we understand that this might be the last night for some of these people, then you understand what it means to be near someone and begin to think about your own mortality. At times during the long hours, he thought about returning to the Christian beliefs of his father. But then he imagined what his college son, Jacob Eames, would say about his father's doctrines. He waited for morning to come so that the terrors of the night would be forgotten. Early the next morning, Adoniram went to the innkeeper and said, "That poor old man in the next room, how is he?" he asked. "He passed away early this morning," came the reply. "And he wasn't old at all. He was a young man, about your age." For some reason, Adoniram asked, what was his name? It was a rather dumb question, because Adoniram certainly didn't know anyone in that section of the country. The innkeeper replied, his name was Jacob Eames, his college friend who had pulled him away from his faith. There is no mistaking his name or the identity. It was the young college friend whose religious skepticism had turned Adoniram against the religion of his father. Days he returned to Massachusetts and to his father. Echoing through his mind was the word lost. But it took 3 more months of intellectual struggle before he made a solemn dedication of himself to God. And so what is happening here is this young man, which Solomon would never say, don't enjoy your youth, but this young man suddenly has a perspective of death and what's to come and judgment. And so Solomon continues here in verse 12, in this kind of in this continual encouraging imagery and illustrations. What he's going to now say, chapter 12, what he's going to now say in the next couple of verses is he's going to basically talk about a storm that's coming. And the storm is death. The storm is death. And when he describes this storm, I'm going to kind of just pause because I want to point out a few things along the way. So the storm that's coming, it's coming to a home, and there's people filled in the home, and they're all responding a particular way. But the responses and the words attached to them speaks of old age. Remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come, and the years draw near, of which you will say, I have no pleasure in them. So what he's saying is like guys, there's going to be a time when things don't taste as good as they used to. They don't smell as much as you were able to. You're not able to keep up with the young guys on the soccer field or the pickleball courts. Before the sun and the light and the moon, I heard laughter. That hurts me. Because you assume that's me, which it is. And the moon and the stars are darkened, and the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house tremble. Keepers of the house, it's a guard. Well, what's this trembling? I want you to imagine these really strong guards. These buff, swole guards. They come in, but their arms start shaking. What does that mean? Muscular weakness. And as we know, as you age, that's one of the signs of old age, is muscular weakness. He's saying to our young, hey, you're strong now, but understand you will be weak. And the strong men are bent. The strong men were just the lords of the house, but they are bent. What's another thing that is commonly experienced in your old age? It's your back, it's your spine. And the grinders cease because they are few. So these are women. These are their servants. But it says grinders. So help me, guys. What do you guys think grinders is, especially when you speak at old age? What grinds in our bodies? Joints. Okay. But I heard teeth. Who said teeth? Teeth. That's right. So, and the grinders cease Because they are few. Teeth are starting to fall out. I know. It's like, ugh. You check your teeth just to make sure they're all there. The grinders cease because they are few. And those who look through the windows are dimmed. So the idea here is it's the women of the house. It's the ladies of the house. But they're looking through the window, but they're dimmed. What is this illustrating? What do you think? Dimmed. Eyes. Right? I've noticed in the last couple of months I've been starting to do this, and I'm trying to battle against it, but then my eyes water, so I have to push it back. So my eyes are dim, and the doors on the street are shut. When the sound of the grinding is low, and one rises up at the sound of a bird, and all the daughters of song are brought low and low. They are afraid also of what is high, and terrors are in the way. The almond tree blossoms, the grasshopper drags itself along. What a sad image. And desire fails because man is going to his eternal home. And the mourners go about the streets before the silver cord is snapped, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is shattered at the foundation, at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, and the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, all is vanity. It's death. That's what we know. And in our youth, we can't imagine this. Like, this is fantasy. This is something that happens in the future. I cannot even comprehend it. But everyone in their elderly years can attest to you, this is your reality in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's coming. And Solomon is saying you should fix your entire life. The thing that you fix as on what you know to be death. And that's how we are to live. But of course, Solomon didn't know that the storm passes. Solomon doesn't know about Jesus. Solomon doesn't know that death is swallowed up in victory. Oh, death, where is your victory? Oh, death, where is your sting? 1 Corinthians 15, 54 through 55. I want you to hear those words from the mouths of the men that are bent and the men that are bent and the keepers of that house who tremble and the grinders ceasing. I want you to hear them saying it after the storm passes. Death is swallowed up in victory. Oh, death, where is your victory? Oh, death, where is your sting? So while Solomon says you're to fix your entire life around death, Jesus says, I'm going to one-up you. You're to fix your entire life on the resurrection. The resurrection. Again, he's not inviting us to just live however we want, because the resurrection has its own reality with it, which we've explored as Christians. But there is something beautiful when we say, well, I don't know how life is going to play out, but my fixed reality is the resurrection, and so that is how I'm going to live. I'm going to have joy. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to invest. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to open up myself in view of eternal life. Now, we are running a little bit late, so we have one last question, and we will wrap up here. Go as long as you need to according to your schedules, and go ahead and at the very end wrap up and pray. So the last one is, you don't know future events, but you know resurrection is coming. How does that change the way you invest your life, where you find joy, future opportunities, and relationships? And so that'll conclude session 4. Once you guys are done, and I think I'll have Polly come in here and give a few instructions a little bit later. So thank you guys very much. You can go and break up into your groups. Thanks.